So it's such a joy to be with you guys again on the For Your Success podcast. Today we're going to be diving into something that I think we don't put enough emphasis on in our course and coaching businesses, and that is getting feedback and getting reviews. Somebody finishes your program, somebody finishes your coaching program, it's always best practice to follow up with them and get reviews, get referrals, and yet we don't often do that. And so today, I'm not going to be talking about referrals so much, but I am going to be talking about getting feedback. And I want to give you the five of the questions. I have a list of more than 10, but today, for time's sake, I'm going to share 5 questions with you that you can use at the end of your course, at the end of your coaching program, to be able to get that feedback from your people that will help you make the course better and essentially give you testimonials as well. So if you're ready to dive in, we will dive in here. But first, just let me remind you that we love to hear your feedback and your suggestions for this show. So if you've got something you'd like us to cover in an upcoming episode, we would love to hear that from you. Leave us a comment wherever you're listening or watching this. And also, those reviews are super helpful to help other people find this content as well. So we appreciate each of you who sends any kind of comment or review for the program. It's super, super helpful and encouraging to us. So thank you in advance for taking a moment to do that. Now, so the 5 questions that we want to dive into today for getting feedback from your course or your program. Number 1 is you want to ask them what was their biggest struggle prior to enrolling in the program. So what we want to do is try to find out how our program has helped them. Essentially, where were you when you started? Because that's something that we can be able to share then. It's gathering info, but it's also a potential share for other people considering the program to say, hey, we've had people who were right here. They were just like you. They were right here as well. This was their struggle prior to enrolling in the program. And so having that in your client or your student's own words is going to help you communicate that more effectively to folks enrolling the next time. And so just leave it open-ended and ask them, what was your biggest struggle prior to enrolling in the program? Now, this can be done in the feedback form. It can be done in hit reply and answer this email. It can be done in an graduation or an exit interview, however you decide to do it. But the biggest thing is not to put words in their mouth. You want to get the words from their mouth about how they describe their experience with you, because that's what's going to be most effective then when you go on to share that with other people. The second question that you want to ask them is, what changed for you because of this program? What changed for you because of this program? We want to find out what was the transformation process for them. Where were they when they started? But then what changed for them because of this program? Because remember, we're not selling videos and downloads and worksheets and coaching calls. We're selling a transformation. And so being able to hear from them in their own words, what changed, is super, super important. And that leads right into the third question, which is, can you describe for me what your life or your business is like now? So if you're teaching a business course, it's also going to have an impact on their life, right? Because you're making things faster, easier, less stressful, more systematized, whatever, that is going to have a rollover effect into their life. If you're teaching a life coaching course or you're teaching a skill, it could also have effects that roll over into their business. So whatever is applicable for you here, according to what you teach and who your audience is, ask them to describe how their life or their business or their family or whatever it is that your course was helping them improve is like now. And again, leave this open-ended so you're getting this feedback back in their own words. That's what's going to be most effective for you to be able to use that in the future to share with other folks. Now, the goal for this is not just to get testimonials. Obviously, we want testimonials. Super important to have great testimonials on your sales pages for your programs. However, it's also to help us know if we're accomplishing the goal that we set out to accomplish with this program. Are we getting them to the transformation that we had promised or that we thought we were moving them towards? And if not, then it allows us a chance for further follow-up and questions. Question number 4 that you want to include in this kind of a feedback evaluation would be, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about joining this program? And the reason for this question is that you want to not just know where they were and what changed for them and where they are now. You also want to hear in their words how they would encourage somebody else in regards to joining the program, because again, their words are always going to be more effective than your words because they are your target market. And so what would you say to somebody else who's on the fence? The other thing is, it's one thing for me to say, hey, you need this, you need to join my program. It's quite another for somebody else to say, yeah, you need this, you need to join that program, right? And so this gives us that additional leverage, so to speak, of the experiences of the folks in our programs by being able to share what they said. And so took the course and got this result. And this is what they said about you, or wanted to share with you if you're on the fence about joining the program, right? And so again, leave that open-ended. Let them answer that however they will. And then this last one is gold. And this is a tip that I learned from Ryan Levesque of the Ask Method. It's not original to me, but to always end this kind of a questionnaire, this kind of a conversation with, is there anything else you'd like to share? And the reason that we want to do this is that this opens up even more information to us. It's almost like we were priming the pump with some of those first questions. And once they begin to share and they begin to remember and they begin to get into the emotion of how their life or their business has changed because of your program, in that last question, anything else you'd like to share, a lot of times this is where you will get the gold of the testimonial. This is where they will feel even more free most times to be able to share even more meaningful information with you about what this meant for them to be able to go through your course and program and get this transformation or this experience. And so always remember to add that in as a final question in any kinds of these feedback forms or evaluation forms, giving them an opportunity not just to answer the questions that you laid out, but also, is there anything else you'd like to share? Because again, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. Sometimes we don't know how to ask the right questions. And there have been many times where that question is the one that brings in something that we can tweak in the program to make it better. Can bring in the best testimonial that we've had in a long time. You just never know what's going to show up in that last question. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us? And so I always try to include that in the conversations or in the evaluation and feedback forms so that we're giving them a chance to express ad lib, express on their own without any kind of direction, anything else that they would like to share, positive or negative, about the program. Now, if you're not willing to get some negative feedback, don't ask this question. If you're not willing to open yourself up for things that you could improve, then don't ask them if there was anything you could improve, right? You really want to be willing to be open to the feedback because, again, anything that they give you, having experienced it from their perspective and their experience, is going to help you improve if you take that information back and apply what they're telling you to be able to improve your program. So it can be a huge, huge benefit to your business and to your program to be able to do these evaluations and ask these questions, but it can also give you then those testimonials to be able to use and share with other people who are interested in joining your program about the experiences that others have had as they've come through it. This is where they were. This is how the course or the program changed them. This is how their life is now. This is what they would say to you if you're considering joining the program. And then, of course, those gold nuggets that may happen in that final question. Is there anything else you'd like to share? So I hope that these questions give you a framework that you'll be able to take and use and implement in your business, whether you decide to do it as a follow-up feedback form or as a in-person questionnaire time interview style thing. It's an amazing way to wrap up a course experience or a coaching program and be able to get that feedback from your folks. And if your program is a year-long program, there's no reason you have to wait until the end of the year to do this. This is something you could do on a quarterly basis. You could do it every 6 months, because every time you get feedback and you're able to implement a change to improve the program, you're improving it for everyone's benefit, not just your own. And that can be gold for your business. And so leave us a comment. Let us know if you enjoyed this. If you've got other things you'd like us to cover in the future, practical or inspirational, mental mindset kinds of things around your course or coaching business, we would love to have your suggestions as we continue to work to provide great content for you here. Check out the show notes for some helpful things today, and we will see you in the next episode.